Hello there everyone, how you doing today? I hope you're all well. Today I'm reading you a wonderful horror story titled My Therapist Said He Keeps a Copy of Every Client's House Key, written by Ezekiel H. Graves on Reddit. If you enjoy, subscribe, leave a comment down below, and after all, stick around for the whole thing. Now let's get started. I'm writing this because I need to get it out. I don't know what this is exactly. A warning, a record, proof I still exist. Maybe just a way to convince myself I'm not losing my mind. Because that's how it works, right? That's how they get in. Not with violence, not with knives, with questions. With the slow unraveling of things you thought were solid. I started therapy a while back after a rough breakup. Classic stuff. Panic attacks, shame spirals, waking up at 3 a.m., convinced no one would ever love me again. Dr. N was recommended by a friend. Said he was calm and unusually perceptive, and that turned out to be true. Too true. He looked the part. Mid-40s, soft voice, kind eyes, beard like a high school philosophy teacher. The office was beige and quiet, just a ticking clock and that faint smell of something herbal. Not flowers, something older, something you'd find in a drawer that hadn't been opened in decades. At first, he was exactly what I needed. He never interrupted, never pushed, just asked the right questions at the right time. A few sessions in, I was telling him things I hadn't told anyone, things I hadn't even formed into words before. And that's what makes this so hard. He didn't feel dangerous. He felt safe. Until one day he didn't. It was session 14. I remember because I just started to feel like I was making progress. We were talking about my fear of home invasion. Not just the fear, but the rituals. Triple checking locks, leaving the hallway light on, sleeping with a flashlight under my pillow. He smiled and said, "You know, I keep a copy of every client's house key." He said it lightly, like it was a joke. I stared at him, and he smiled again. "Just kidding." But there was a pause after that, the kind of silence that doesn't land right, like he was watching to see how much I believed him. I laughed awkwardly, said something like, "Guess I better start locking the windows too." He didn't reply, just wrote something down for the first time ever in our sessions. I should have walked away then. Over the next few weeks, little things started happening at home. At first, I thought I was just being forgetful. I'd come home and shampoo bottle would be in the wrong place. Not fallen, just rotated. The lid unscrewed a little. Once my toothbrush was damp at 3 p.m. I hadn't been home since morning. Another time, the fridge door was open just a crack. Nothing missing, nothing spoiled, just open. It never escalated, nothing loud, nothing obvious, just wrongness in the small details. I started testing it, taped a single hair across the crack of my bedroom door, sprinkled talcum powder by the entryway, left a glass of water on the counter and measured the Mencius. I didn't tell anyone, not even Dr. N. I wanted to be sure. The hair would be gone. The powder would be scuffed. The water level lower by millimeters. So I changed the locks. Brought a triple deadbolt system self-installed. I didn't tell my landlord, I didn't write it down, didn't even mention it aloud in my apartment. Next session he smiled and said, "Feeling safer at home now?" And that was the last time I saw him. I stopped showing up. I ignored his calls, blocked the clinic number. I thought I was done. But a week later, he emailed me. "I've noticed you've been distant, just checking you're safe at home." There it was again, that phrase, safe at home. I moved the next month. New suburb, new number. Didn't tell friends the address. Scrubbed myself off every online listing I could find. I bought blackout curtains and a door jammer. I even covered the peephole with tape. It worked for a while. And then yesterday I checked my letterbox. Inside was a plain white envelope. No name, no stamp, no return address. Just my unit number in block letters. My new unit number, one I never gave out. Inside the envelope was a single key. My key. Taped to a sheet of blank paper, and written underneath it in tiny, careful handwriting. You forgot to give me your spare. I haven't gone to the police. What would I even say? My ex-therapist mailed me my own key and I'm scared he exists. They'd ask how he got the address. I wouldn't have an answer. They'd ask for proof. I wouldn't have any. They would ask if I was still taking my medication. And maybe that's the point. Because I think this was never about therapy. It was about access, conditioning, compliance. I thought the sessions were for healing, but now I think they were rehearsals. Every question a prompt, every silence was a test, every joke was a blueprint, and when I stopped showing up, it didn't stop him. It activated him. Since the envelope arrived, small things have started again. The blinds shift positions. A spoon I never use ends up in the sink. My razor is slightly damp in the morning. Once I woke up and the light in the closet was on. I hadn't opened that door in weeks. Last night I was going through my drawer and I found something that wasn't mine. A folded piece of paper between receipts and expired coupons. It was a printout of my original intake form from last year. Date, stamped, signed, my handwriting. But under the notes section in red pen there was something new. Client case file 0042. Complete acquisition. Progress 92%. Do not interrupt the cycle. And then scribbled beneath it in shaky black ink. My own handwriting, but it was wrong, like I'd written it in a dream. I consent. That's not how this ends. It's how it was meant to end. I thought I escaped him, but now I think the only reason I still exist is because he's not finished yet. And tonight, as I write this, I just heard something in the hallway. Not a creak, not a thump, a click. Deliberate, mechanical. A key turning in the deadlock. Thank you all for listening. If you enjoyed, remember to like, subscribe, leave a comment down below with how you enjoyed the story, and consider checking out some of my other content. I would appreciate it.